Hey guys, I'm in the beautiful winter wonderland of Ashfield, Massachusetts, way out in western Massachusetts near the Berkshires. And there's actually an antique store here that I saw advertised. They have lots of old things, but they also have some comic books. So I felt like going for a nice drive. Let's see if they have any good comic books. Daredevil. 76. Daredevil. Also 76. Tomb of Dracula. Okay. I can't go through all these. All right. Whoa. All right, so I found one box of comic books, and most of the older ones were coverless, but they're interesting. They're from a really cool era in the mid-'70s, and then there was a whole bunch of modern comic books, and I was able to get all of them pretty cheap. So let's go home, see what we found. So this might end up being my strangest comic book picking video yet. Let me tell you quickly how I found this place. So I'm always on Facebook Marketplace, basically scouring all of the local town groups, what we call like trash to treasure groups, people selling things or buying things, local businesses posting advertisements for stuff they're selling, always looking for antiques, collectibles, and yes, comic books. Well, this antique store posted on one of these groups, and because I like antiques, I was looking pretty closely at the pictures, and I noticed in one of the pictures, down on the floor, I saw what looked to be like a crate with a couple comic books. And then when I went through the listing of all the stuff they sell out of the, 3 dozen things they had, I saw that little word, comics. So I was already planning on doing some picking way up in this area of Massachusetts. And while this place, Ashfield, is even further out west, it's on the western side of the Connecticut River, kind of in the middle of nowhere, but I knew it was a really nice drive. I had the time, and I figured I would go check it out. And it had snowed the night before, and it was beautiful out, guys. I'm going through these deep forests and big farmlands. The trees are encrusted with ice and snow. The fields are blanketed in white. I actually pulled over a couple times to take pictures because, rural New England is gorgeous in the winter. So eventually I find this place, and it was essentially just a house that this guy had converted 3 or 4 of the rooms into an antique shop. And honestly, it was pretty small. I mean, it looked smaller, in person than it had in the pictures. So it didn't take me long to scour the whole place and find the box of comics in question. And basically, you guys saw what was in there. Half of it was modern books, like kids' books, where honestly half the titles I didn't even recognize. And the other half were coverless books from like the Bronze Age. And I didn't go through them very much. Basically, the footage you saw, that was the extent of me going through them. This guy comes up to me and says, hey, are you looking for anything in particular? I said, I'm interested in comic books. Is this all you have? He said, yep, that's all I have. I said, well, how much for the whole box? He said, I have no idea. Give me an offer. And I'm looking at these, and honestly, they were pretty beat up and they smelled kind of bad. And I said, well, how about $20 for the whole box? And he said, sure, but how about I keep the box? It's a nice box. And I said, sure, that's fine. I didn't actually want the box. So he got me a couple of bags. I basically put all of the modern ones in this plastic bag right here, and I put all of the coverless ones in this paper bag. Gave him my $20 and left. Now, my original intent for this video was to come home, go through all of these, and present sort of the highlights to you guys. But then I thought, you know what might be fun? What if I go through these for the first time on camera? So my first time seeing them will be your first time seeing them. I thought that would be really, really fun. So $20, I don't know what it got me. Let's check it out. Before I show you what I got, if you like this sort of stuff, hit the like button, leave me a comment, feel free to subscribe, follow me on Instagram under Lunch Money Comics IG. Let's see what the heck was in this box. Let's start with the modern ones because there's actually a couple of like DC books that are recognizable titles. That seems like a good place to start. And yeah, put the coverless ones down there to begin with. I have no idea how many books are in there either. I mean, honestly, looking at this stack here of just the ones with covers, I don't know, 40 or 50 or so. So quite a bit. Again, $20. Hey, I probably have, the same amount for the other coverless ones. Looking at maybe 80 comic books. Pretty good deal. All right, let's start off with some DC. We have Batman Year 3. This is part 4 of 4. Of course, it's Batman Year 1, Year 2, Year 3. I have a lot of Year 2. I don't think I have any of Year 3. I don't think it's worth much. This one's in really bad shape, even if it was worth something. I'm also not going to look up any of these guys. I don't know if these are keys or anything. Maybe at the end I'll look them up and find out, what in here was worth any money. But yeah, you guys can follow along and let me know down in the comments if anything jump out to you right when I show it to you. Then we have some Green Lanterns. Looks like we have 4 Green Lantern books. So this looks like volume 2. This is Green Lantern number 4. Don't know what happens in that one. Green Lantern number 8. This one is Green Lantern number 18. I'm not sure which volume this is. One Angry Guy. It looks like Guy Gardner on the front. Right there. And then we have Green Lantern Emerald Dawn number 4. Cool Hal Jordan cover. I assume it's Hal Jordan. Pretty neat. I think that's it for the DC comics. There might be some other ones mixed in here. At least that's all I saw. All right, we're going to go through these quick. Again, there's a lot here. Walt Disney, we have a Moby Duck. Okay. We have an Archie, Pep. We have, you guys saw this in the footage, I have the cover of X-Men number 1. So that's it. Just the cover. All right, now we're getting into the weird stuff, guys. I don't know what any of these are. I'm going to go through them fast. I think these are rated for kids, or most of them are. So we have Wild Girl, Leave It to Chance, Starcadia Quest. So these are all, IDW, it looks like. Oh, they're all over the place. This is by Kaboom Comics. This is Ruin World. Aspen Mascots from Aspen Comics. I don't know any of these guys. This one looks familiar. So this is an image, at least. This is Angelic. We have Takio. Ooh, looks like Brian Michael Bendis. Adventure Finders. This is actually like kind of a, almost like a nice printing, like a gloss finish. Feels like a book. Battle Cats. That looks cool. Another one of these, Leave It to Chance. Looks like I got a couple of them coming up. Free Realms. Amelia Rules. Another Amelia Rules. Baker Street Peculiars. So, yeah, Baker Street, I'm guessing these are like detectives, like Sherlock Holmes. I'm actually pretty excited. These are lots of kids' books, guys, because I'm always looking for good comic books that my kids can read. So, so far, I'm assuming some of these are rated for kids. So that one looks pretty cool. I think that's a show, too. Xeno's Arrow. Free Comic Book Day. This is Dream Jumper. Cash and Carry. Oh, man. Sweet. All right. This whole thing's worth it right now. Hilda. So Hilda is a television show that my kids absolutely love, of this girl who lives sort of like in Norway with like trolls and all sorts of magic things going on. My kids love this show. A Oh man, this is worth it just for this alone. My kid's gonna fight over this. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, they love Hilda. Absolutely worth it in that regard. So I'm excited to show this to them. Very cool. Let me know down in the comments if you've ever watched Hilda. I've watched it a couple times with my kids. I think it's on Netflix, and it's pretty cool. The animation style is fantastic, and it's just a really cool, theme. Cash and Carry. I think I had another one of those a few minutes ago. Jonesy. BB Free. Gronk, as a New England Patriots fan. I like the name on this one at least. Impossible Incorporated. Looks like I have a whole bunch of those coming up. Thanatos Diver, another free comic book day pickup. Kiosk of the King. AV in 3D. The guy with a carrot for a head on the back. Another Impossible Incorporated. No idea what the series is. Again, I'm hoping it's for kids because it looks pretty cool. Another Leave It to Chance. Tons of Leave It to Chance. Never heard of the series, guys. By Homage Comics. Oh, no, Image. Sorry, it's Image. Looks like Homage is like a series. There's a ton of these. I don't know if I have the whole run here. Doodleville. Wow. Yeah, Doodleville. More Leave It to Chance. Man, there's a ton of these in here. I gotta actually put them in order and see what I actually have. Awake. Junior High Horrors Halloween Special. And now I hit some really strange stuff. Hold on, I gotta move these. Looks like we have some books. So we have The Story of Rapunzel, and it's a record book. No record. So The Story of Rapunzel. Like I said, guys, there's all sorts of random stuff in here. We have The Story of Pinocchio. Again, yep, record's missing. Another exact copy of the same book. Still missing the record. And, Brer Rabbit and the Tar Baby. I think this is the racist thing that Disney's ever done. So, again, record list. So, there you go. And then this is a poster of Spider-Man Unlimited. I'm not even sure what year this is from. It says Fox Kids Saturday Morning Cartoons. So, we're going back. Oh, here we go. 1999 is the date on it. Wow, even these are ones with covers, guys, they smell. They're a little stinky. I know a lot of people, I've said, when I've mentioned on my channel, like the difference between graded books and raw books. A lot of people say they like raw books because they like the smell of them. And I totally get that as someone who loves antiques and old things. But that being said, this box, I can smell it at my feet. It smells more than old paper. It smells like really dank, musty basement. Like I'm breathing in black mold. I feel like, my nostrils are stinging right now. It's a little pungent. And then we have some magazines. We have... Hey, look at that. So this is a Newsweek. It's from July 28th, 1969. And, of course, the moon landing, I think, was on July 20th, 1969. So this is during or right after the moon landing. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so, guys, I am a huge history fan, and I like old documents like this and old newspapers, things like that. So that's cool. And I'm also a gigantic astronomy fan. So I'm a big fan of the Apollo moon landing. So this is right after Apollo 11. So that's pretty cool. Very happy to pick this one up. Nice. No idea. We have another Newsweek here. Hey, I know this guy. So this is Ted Kennedy. I'm from Massachusetts. Ted Kennedy, Edward Kennedy, was the brother of John F. Kennedy and Robert Kennedy. And he was a senator in Massachusetts forever. And this here is also from 1969. Oh, you know what this is? So, should I resign? Oh, so this is the must be the Chappaquiddick incident. So, for those of you who don't know, again, I know this because I'm a history buff and I'm from Massachusetts. Kennedy was on Martha's Vineyard, and it was late at night. He was driving in a car with a young woman. What was her name? Mary Jo Kopechny, I think her name was. And he drove off a bridge into like a pond, like a saltwater pond. He made it out alive, but she died. She drowned, and he didn't report it until like the next day. And he got out of it. I don't think he served any jail time or anything. I think he just lost his license probably because he's a Kennedy, but it really screwed up his, his presidential aspirations. He, you only ran for president once, and it was sort of like the big skeleton in his closet. But yeah, this must be right after that. I think this was 1969. So, oh, and there's actually a newspaper article in here. Look at that. It's from the Judgment on Kennedy. It looks like it's from the actual court thing. So, There you go, guys. Lunch Money Comics. It's not just cheap comic books, it's cheap history lessons as well. So, hey, these are pretty cool. Honestly, guys, comic books are cool. Why you guys come here, but this is stuff, like, I love finding this stuff. So, very, very cool. I don't know. That's kind of the highlight so far, other than the Hilda comic. And we have another, this is definitely a less historic magazine here. This is Sci-Fi Teen number 2. This must be from the late 90s because we have the Avengers, not the comic book Avengers, Uma Thurman and Ralph Fiennes Avengers, and we have Wesley Snipes' Blade up there at the top. So this is in really bad shape. But I might look through this just because it's just, I mean, takes me back to a time and era in my my youth. So cool. I think that is it. Yeah, that's it from all of my modern ones. So yeah, let me know down in the comments, guys, if you've heard of any of those titles. Pretty happy I found Hilda. That's the highlight in those magazines. But let's go check out what's in this big bag of coverless comic books now. Guys, these stink. Not in the good smell, a bad smell. So, coverless comics. Now, this is an interesting thing. You know, I don't know if they're particularly worth that much money. I know if they're like big grail issues, people will buy them even if they're coverless. My understanding of what coverless comic books are, and again, this is before my time, correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but certainly in the 60s, and I'm guessing in the 70s, basically the way they distributed comic books and sold them was different than they do now with the whole like direct purchasing. A retailer would buy a whole bunch of comic books, but they only had to pay for what they actually sold. So, you know, they get all these comic books, they sell what they could, and whenever they didn't sell them, they had to send them back to the distributor and they'd get money back. But then eventually, you know, then the distributor would pulp those comic books, but then it ended up becoming more cost effective just to have the retailer pulp them. But to show the distributor that they didn't sell the comics, they'd rip the covers off and mail them back to the distributor. So they say, oh, okay, they didn't sell 100 comic books, here's your money back, and I assume they pulped the rest. But of course, that didn't always happen. What people would do is they pull the covers off to get their money back, and then they would just sell these coverless ones cheaper. And they sell them like in bulks, you know, they sell them for like a nickel a piece or a bag for 10 cents a piece. I've also heard anecdotal things that like some stores would sell a comic book, and then once you read it, you could sell it back to them like for like half the price to get another comic book, and they'd rip the cover off to show if it was you know, that it was used. I'm not sure. Let me know down in the comments, guys, if you know more to that story. Obviously, that all changed once they went to the direct version where you just ordered the comic books you wanted or you thought you'd sell. You sell what you can, and then you were stuck with the rest. That's sort of how it is nowadays. So let me know down in the comments, guys, if you know more about this. So first up, yes, I have a couple here you might have saw in the footage. This is Daredevil number 134 from 1976. Again, I don't know if it's a key. You're really close to the whole bullseye thing. Which is 131, I think. So yeah, pretty cool. The Hollywood Hounds. Oh no, it's Kamandi, The Last Boy on Earth, number 41. We have Death Times 2. Oh, not the Daredevils. This is Daredevil number 140. Again, getting up into that sort of really great Frank Miller run. We have another giant-sized Conan right here. We have a whole bunch of Conan, looks like, coming up. So we have another Conan. This is number 52. We have Boris Karloff, Tales of Mystery, number 74. This has a little place in my heart, guys. I've talked in the past about on my channel, I got a box of comics when I was like 7 years old, and they were mostly DC, but they were a whole bunch of Boris Karloff, like horror comics. And they were kind of scary to me as a kid, but I thought they were really cool. So my first entry into comic book horror was sort of Boris Karloff. There you go. This one is, you saw this in the footage, this is Marvel double feature, Captain America, and I can't find the number real quick, I'll look it up, but basically you see the Red Skull right there, back from the dead. We got Stan Lee and Gil Kane did the art on it, pretty cool right there. This is a Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man, number 155. Pretty neat right there, Peter Parker. No idea what happened to that issue. Conan again, there's another Conan here, number 60. Number 60. Another Conan, number 57. Ooh, this one's cool. Captain America and the Falcon, The Coming of Nomad. What number is this? 180. So I'm not sure. You guys will know before I do. Is this the first appearance of Steve Rogers as Nomad? I hope it is. Pretty neat. You know what's cool about these two guys? Like, I'll actually read these, honestly. A couple of these, like if it is something like this, first appearance of or something that's a change in Captain America's story. Yeah, Steve Englehart, author, Sal Buscema is the artist. Pretty neat. That's cool. The Floating People Affair. Oh, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Number 8. UNCLE. This is in pieces. OMAC. One Man Army Corps. And I don't know if this is part of it. No idea. Stan Lee Prevents Vault of Evil. Not sure what number it is. Oh, number 20 with Quag. Must be a cool, silly monster. The Phantom, number 73. I'll speed up here. Warlord, number 3. Commandi, another Commandi. I'm not familiar with Commandi at all, guys. Number 42. Another Conan, number 58. This one you saw in the footage. This is a Tomb of Dracula. Very cool. Number 54. Tomb of Dracula is awesome, guys. You obviously know that. No idea if it's a key. Number 54. This one is, I have no idea, but it looks modern. What is this? Oh, I know what this is. So this one here, this is, in fact, X-Men number 1. I don't know where that cover went. Somewhere, whatever. I'll pair it with the cover later. I have still not a whole X-Men number 1, but whatever. We have another horror one, Werewolf by Night. Very cool. Number 39. Hoping for something a little better. Oh, we got Brother Voodoo on the front. I love Brother Voodoo. Brother Voodoo is one of my favorite characters, so it's cool when he shows up in other horror titles. Spidey and Iron Man Marvel Team Up, number 51. Then we have the Sinister Scarecrow, Marvel Spotlight, number 26. We're getting in some pretty roached up ones now. Another Commandi in pieces. We have an Ivanhoe. I think I saw this one earlier, a Yang. Fighting Marines, number 126, volume 7. No clue what this is. Adventures on the Planet of the Apes, number 4. Weird Wonder Tales, number 22. Another Conan, 58. Killraven, Amazing Adventure starring Killraven, number 33. Another OMAC. Wondering if that cover belongs to this one. No idea what this one is. No idea. It's falling apart. An Unknown Soldier. Pretty big DC title. Another Conan. Sly Sarge. A Khazar, number 17. Another Ivanhoe. Let me know if anyone collects Ivanhoe. I see them all the time. I don't know if anyone actually collects them. No idea what this one is. I can't even tell. Starfire, number 2. Blackhawk. I know there's some Blackhawk collectors out there. Ghost Manor, number 29 from 1976. Falling apart in my hand. No idea. Can't find the inside cover on this one with the information. Oh, man. Maybe this is it. Oh, boy. Yeah, now we're getting into the really nasty stuff, guys. So we have another Killraven. Hey, I think I have this comic book. Enter the Leapfrog. It's a Daredevil book. Daredevil number 25. No, I lied. This is originally presented in Daredevil 25. This is a Marvel adventure. This is a reprint of Daredevil number 25. The first appearance of Leapfrog, which people saw a version of Leapfrog in the She-Hulk show. Kid Colt Outlaw. Stolen Kisses. This is a romance novel. My hands are filthy already, guys, and my nose is burning from these. Conflict at Deep Rock. Billy the Kid. Here we go. Billy the Kid. Cool. Nova number 6. The Man Called Nova number 6. Cool. Richard Rider. This is my Boston accent sneaking out. Richard Rider. No idea. Looks like another Western. Haunted Tank. A GI Combat. Stanley presents Ringo Kid. Another Khazar. Where Monsters Dwell. I love these old monster ones, guys. Looks like The Missing Link right there. Another Starfire number 6. I'm guessing this could be another Conan. Stanley presents Bloodstone. Marvel presents number 2. Cool. I wonder if that is Ulysses Bloodstone, the Bloodstone family. I'm guessing that is. I have no idea where he first came about. The Witching Hour, number 51. Tor. And Fightin' Army, number 120. Okay, so obviously there were some pretty cool Marvel ones in there. I'm definitely excited to look up. Certainly the Werewolf by Night, the Tomb of Dracula, those Daredevil ones. I'll look them up and come back to you guys. See what I got. So I went through all of the Coverless books, and my eyes are burning. They're literally tearing up because these are so pungent. And it took me a while, but I got through them. And if you were following along, I'm sure you already know there wasn't a ton in here that's really worth anything, even if they did have covers. But there's a couple that are worth mentioning what goes on in them. This is the second appearance of Ulysses Bloodstone. The Tomb of Dracula is, in fact, the first appearance of Dracula's golden-skinned son, Janus. Never heard of him. The Werewolf by Night is, in fact, the first meet-up between Brother Voodoo and Werewolf by Night. Two very cool characters. And just as we thought, this one is the Coming of Nomad is the first appearance of Steve Rogers in his Nomad persona. I might even read this book here. The DC ones here, they didn't show up as keys or anything like that. They're not worth much of anything beyond reading, which I might very well do. And in terms of like the value, I mean, honestly, guys, like the ones I like the most are probably these two magazines. These are really cool as a history buff. As an astronomy buff, you know, the Massachusetts connection, these are pretty cool to have. I'm always loving these old like periodicals, newspapers, magazines, things like that. They're a snapshot in time, you know, looking at the ads. So these are pretty cool. These are pretty fun, a fun little bonus that I didn't really know was even in there or really acknowledge what they were when I grabbed them. So that's kind of fun. And of course, you know, the modern books are probably the best because they are, you know, tailored towards kids. So I'm always looking for comic books for my kids to read. And, you know, I love pulling out books from my back issues, but honestly, like I pull up books sometimes, guys, that I think are pretty kid-friendly, and then you flip through them and you're like, wow, this is definitely a little more grown up. And I'm always looking for comic books that I can like give away to kids, you know, like if I ever sell like a flea market or something like that, I always kind of want to have books like, hey, as a kid, you know, get them into the hobby. And I'm really happy that like these fit that bill, that I feel most of these I think are pretty safe to give out to kids. So when my kids are done reading these, I'll either, you know, hand them out for free or I'll donate them to the library or something like that. And honestly, guys, there's like almost 50 of them in here. So from a deal standpoint, like $20 just for all of these for reading material for my kids, that's absolutely worth the $20. Pretty excited about that. In terms of the coverless books, I mean, let me know down in the comments if you think they're worth anything. I don't think they usually are. Again, unless if they're like a Grail or something like that, sure. But I know some people, like, if it's worth it, they'll marry a cover to an existing book or pull the staples out, you know, if they're restoring things. I understand there's a point to that. But honestly, beyond a reading standpoint, I don't think they're worth much of anything. But let me know down in the comments if you know of a use for coverless books or if you're into them or something like that. So that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, this was definitely a weird video, but I'm happy I showed it to you guys because I like to always say, you know, look for comic books in strange and unusual places because, you know, yeah, there's nothing great here this time, but who knows, the next box I find might have a Grail in there, might have something that's worth a lot of money. You just have to keep looking. So was it worth $20 to me to get all these comic books? Heck yeah, it was. I had a blast of a time going through these comic books and showing them to you guys. I had a really fun time going through these. You know, the magazines and the young reader books, notwithstanding, I had a really fun time and it was worth the $20. You could definitely do a lot worse with $20 in terms of having a good time, guys. So, like I said, keep hunting for comic books in strange and unusual places. You never know what you're going to find, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will definitely see you next time.